Hello everyone, IMS welcomes you all to the webinar series, the B School Insider, all you need to know about your dream school, and I'm your host Kalyani for this series. So today we will be focusing on IIM Indore, prep journey, campus life, academics and placements. And in this we will be discussing key points such as CAT prep tips and selection criteria at IIM Indore versus IIM Kodikor versus IIM Lucknow. How is the HRM program at IIM Indore? Why IIM Indore? Infrastructure and life at IIM Indore, incubation center and entrepreneurial support, and more. So let's welcome our speakers. We have Palak Gupta. She is from PGP-HRM 2022 batch. We have, and she's a management consulting analyst at Accenture Strategy. Then we have Prasanna Khare. He is from PGP 2024 batch. We have Udit Modi, also from PGP 2024 batch. We have Piyush Pise from PGP 2024 batch. And we have Tanmay Kothavare from PGP 2024 batch. Welcome all of you, and thank you so much for being here today for this session. So let's start from the CAT score interview selection process in this section. So we'll go from the current batch. So you can talk about your CAT score, your what was your undergraduate subjects, and work experience or fresher, what was it? And yeah, so we can start from, and of course, we'll be also talking about like maybe a few tips which we'll take, but of course, initially just talk about your CAT score and your profile. Yeah, so we can start from Prasanna, then Tanmay, then Udit, then Piyush, then Palak. Yeah, Prasanna.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Prasanna Khare. Currently, I'm in the second year of MBA at IIM Indore. My undergraduation was in chemical engineering from ICT Mumbai, 2021 pass out, and I am a fresher. And my CAT score was 99.44% in CAT 2021.
Okay. Yeah. Tanmay.
Hi guys, myself Tanmay, and I and Prasanna are from the same college. I'm also from ICT Mumbai.
Yeah.
I did my chemical engineering from ICT, and I'm a 2022 pass out. Prasanna was my senior. I'm a fresher. I directly joined out of my college at IIM Indore. My CAT score was 95.40 percentile, and before that, uh, but I'll tell you more about in the
Yes,
subsequent session.
of course, yeah. We'll come back to that. Yeah, Udit.
Hello everyone, good to see you here. Good morning also, and I am Udit Modi from second batch itself. I am a graduate from mechanical engineering from Nirma University, and I am also 2022 pass out and hence a fresher.
Okay. Yeah, Piyush.
Yeah. Hi guys. You have to make a habit of getting up early now. So get started. So I am Piyush. I am an engineer. I did my engineering in the background of electronics and telecommunication, and I was a fresher pre-joining MBA. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Palak.
Hi everyone. So we have a lot of engineers, but I'm not an engineer. I'm an economics honors graduate from Delhi University, and I was a fresher before I did my MBA, and also I had a gap year before I joined my MBA program, and my MBA CAT percentile was 93.6 percentile.
Okay. All right. So now, yeah, Palak, again, there'll be a few questions for you specifically with CAT because, for a non-engineer, what are the things, how do they schedule their preparation? A little different probably from the engineering background. So, yeah, so Prasanna, can you tell us about your week section if you had any, and also, and how did you prepare for that? And how did you schedule your preparation from? And this also goes for Tanmay. Yeah, how did you schedule your from August till almost, yeah, it's 13th August. So yeah, mid-August till the day. Yeah, just schedule of your CAT preparation. Yeah, Prasanna.
Yeah, so my weakest section was VARC. So right from my childhood, I don't have that stronger habit of reading and all that.
Mm.
So when I started CAT preparation, I realized my reading speed isn't that great. My vocabulary isn't that great either. So it was difficult to first accept that okay, you are from a normal English medium school and all, but still your English is not anywhere near to where it should be.
Mm.
So the preparation began with first of all basic reading. Read from as many diverse sources as possible.
Mm.
It is important to solve RCs of different, as you call it, genres, but more importantly, it is important to read from diverse literature, not necessarily to read novels and all, but you
Mm.
can read newspaper editorials, you can read from aeon.co, and slowly and steadily you realize that you're grasping your comprehension speed, as you call it, that keeps getting better and better. It won't happen in a week's time or a month's time. It is very slow. The progress is very slow. But be rest assured that progress is a surety. Progress will surely come. So that's how I improved my VRC section.
Mm.
Then regarding my preparation
Scheduling.
from August to November. So up until August, I think all my concepts and all were cleared. I had given all the basic sectional tests that were there available on portal, etc.
Mm.
So the larger focus was on solving mock tests initially. So before August, I used to attempt one mock test per week, and I think from July August I had started giving 2 or 3 mock tests every week.
Okay.
So one day you solve a mock, next day you analyze, again the next day you solve a mock, analyze, keep doing it. And while you're analyzing, you need to find out what kind of mistakes you're doing and take corrective action on it. So if you think you're doing silly mistakes, then maybe you need to slow down somewhere. If you think you are selecting the wrong questions, then maybe you need to spend 30 seconds more in finding the right questions and then jumping on to solving them. So, and last important important point from my side is that so CAT is in 3 slots, morning, afternoon, and evening. So when your admit cards are out, you would know what your slot is. So once you know your slot, you can give your mock test in that particular slot, so that your mind is used to solving that. Your mind is used to taking that stress in that time of the day. So that's it from my side.
Very good point. Yeah, the last one that you need to acclimatize yourself in that slot.
Yeah, so actually for me it's thoda different. For me DILR was
okay, great.
I found it difficult.
Okay.
So I will tell you guys about how to deal with DILR. So DILR is all about choosing the right set of questions. So there, I think there are 4 to 5 sets that you will get in the, let's say, 2 hours paper, and DILR is the second section in the CAT paper. So in VRC, you are all fresh for first 40 minutes. You are little bit concentrated, and then your concentration then it went down. So DILR is the section which can affect your quant as well. So my suggestion is focus on this section because it can affect another section as well. So while preparing for the DILR, what I did, I'll tell you about that first. That I always focused on the diverse type of sets. I never did same type of sets again and again. So I always find you have some section tests as well in the IMS portal. They are very useful. They used to be very useful for me. So they had very specific questions for DI as well as LR. That 40-minute section test. They are very useful. So if you are finding problem in DI LR, make sure that you attempt those. And what many people think is DLR is not that tough section. Either they find quant or verbal tough section, but DLR can be a make or break section, because if you crack 3 sets, you will get very good marks. So that's all you need. So in CAT, I was in slot 1, and that DLR was the toughest in among 3 slots. I think slot 3 was also tough, but slot 1 was among the tough sets for the DLR. So I did only 2 sets for my during my paper. Still, I got highest. I had 97 around this percentile for in the DLR, and DLR used to be my weakest section. So don't neglect the another suggestion is don't neglect your weak section. try to give time around that. So if your week section is DILR, you can plan your week like DILR plus quant, then next week DILR plus verbal, again DILR plus quant. If your week section is verbal, then verbal plus quant, verbal plus DILR, and that can be repeated. So this
Okay.
you can do to master your week section. And
Okay.
regarding preparation from August, so there is no specific change that I did from preparation from August to November. Keep solving different sets and try to find the shorter ways. There are always longer ways, but try to find the shorter ways in the how to solve this that particular set and how to choose the right set. Take your time, guys. In the 40 minutes, take 5 minutes, I say, to choose the right set among all 5 sets and solve 2 sets minimum. That will be enough to get 90+%.
Okay. Okay. Attendees will keep taking these questions, your questions in between the section, so don't worry about it. There's okay, Palak, can you talk about from a non-engineering background, what is the kind of preparation and what are the challenges normally, like an average non-engineering student might be facing, and in which section, and how do they plan it out now from August till
Okay, so personally speaking, my math and DILR was really strong. So I didn't have problem on those sections. VRC was a problem area, but I think Prasan covered it really well. So when talking about other people that I've studied with and they had major problems, uh, quants was the section that they suffered the most with, because usually when you talk about people from a non-engineering background, they start ignoring maths when it comes to 11, 12, and they just move on with their life. But when it comes to CAT, it becomes really important to go back to your basics and to brush up whatever you've studied and missed studying in those important years of your life. So my suggestion personally would used to be to those people and to you guys would be to go back to the basics. If you feel, firstly take a mock to realize where you are at this August stage in terms of quants, because there are very easy questions if you identify them in the quant section. And to do that, you need to realize that which are your strong areas in specific quants and which are your weak areas. Okay, so once you realize that, okay, these are my strong areas, these are my weak areas, strong areas, you just pick it up, you know, we once in 2 weeks maybe, but just weak areas that you're facing problems in, you need to go back to basic, maybe your 11th or 12th standard basics, so that if an easy question comes from a weak area, at least you're able to solve that. You might want to ignore the very tough questions, but the easy question part you might able to get, because your strongest area might not have the easiest questions.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the thing I went by.
Okay.
That
Okay. Tell
and
me, who all are CAT retakers? Who all? Okay. Prasanna and Piyush. Udit, no. Okay, Piyush also. So Piyush, can you answer this question? What did you do in your in your success to get success in the next in your CAT? And what was it that was going wrong in your when you took it the first time? Yeah.
Sure, sure.
And then so obviously there are a lot of CAT retakers this year as well, and we also have a good amount of good chunk of attendees who are preparing for CAT 24. So obviously they can always so some of them might be taking in 23 as well as 24. So if you can just tell, like, how do you learn from your mistakes from the
Okay.
first one and then move forward?
So when I was in third year, I started preparing, but not much. Then I joined the classes, then I started preparing. But my weakest section, as Tanmay, was DILR. So I practiced it much about more. So I could cover in that. But
Okay.
that wasn't my destiny. So I practiced a lot in the next attempt. But I would say is practice is the key. And what I realized from this attempt is doing the same question in shorter time is very valuable.
Okay.
So you might have there are some tricks or strategies that IMS mentors have told me. For example, I'll give an example. For DILR, there are, like Tanmay said, there are some easy sets. You just have to identify one. For that, you have to look for that videos that IMS faculties have put on to see if that is that a fact-based set. You give some margins over there, you give some points, so you can practice. And CAT is an everyday effort. You don't have to enroll to too many mock tests. IMS mocks are enough. And correct me if I am wrong, in my CAT attempt there was a Maya colony RC passage which came out of straight IMS simcats. So
Okay.
it was a luck
Yeah.
factor or not, it was my first slot. So my conclusion boils down to the fact that IMS simcats are same level as cats and gives true picture. So
Okay.
preparation from those simcats is very good. And what I did for my second attempt is I analyzed mocks.
Hmm.
For in the first attempt, I don't used to analyze mocks.
Okay.
For this time, I did was I solved mocks. I analyzed them the same day, watched out what my mistakes were.
Hmm.
So that's how you improve day by day.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Udit, can you answer this? First, of course, you can talk about your weak section, and also you can then answer this question that if somebody is from Hindi medium background, so obviously English is weak. So the person is not able to, I mean, how exactly the person can take their VARC section up? So can you also give some tips on that? So yeah, Udit. Yeah.
So yeah, as most of the engineers falter in the VRC
Mm,
section, that
mm,
was the one weakest for me.
mm,
The same thing that the Prasanna mentioned, that we have to more or less read more and more articles about it and maybe get used to it. And then
mm,
the grasping power, the ability to summarize the whole passage, take out the
mm,
important points. You can maybe ignore the extra additional part which is not very relevant compared to the whole context. So the
mm,
concept or the crux of that passage is very important to be derived out, and
mm,
mostly the questions that are followed by that passage would be mostly around that only. So the crux, to identify that crux, to summarize it, is very much important. Also, I feel that the reading comprehensions
mm.
are more or less hit make or break for that. But also
Okay.
the non RC parts, which are the summarizing, find out the odd one, that are also very important. And I basically took a very good balance between both of this section, which helped me to sort out this section. So I think
Okay.
a healthy balance between RC as well as non RC would be a very good
Mm,
for the one who have the weak section of this cat. And
mm,
apart from that, you have
mm,
to daily go through the very good articles or maybe the novels. You can start reading it from here only, so that
mm,
would basically help. And at the final, you would be able to know that in a passage, let's say there are 5 questions, so
mm,
you do not have to attempt 5 questions. Generally, it's a human tendency that if we read the passage, we would attempt all the 5 questions. But
mm,
it's not like that. There may be 2 or 3 hard questions in that passage and 2 or 3 easy questions. So you have to stream through it, go to the 2 or 3 easy question, attempt them, and go
mm.
next to the next paragraph. If time permits, you can come back accordingly. But
Okay.
since the cat is all about taking your easiest question and scoring for that, and then you improve much on the hard question after that. So
Mm,
that strategy basically helped me to balance the RC part and
mm.
non-RC part, as well as to scheme through these articles and figure out the most easiest one.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, there's a question where I'm working and I come back home late around 7 p.m. So I don't get time to study during the weekdays. So how can I schedule my self-study session?
So this is not my personal experience, but few of
Mm-hmm.
my friends were working when I was taking the CAT entrance. So what you can do is you start by giving your weekends completely to CAT so that you have good amount of times to self study. 2 days, 24 hours, you can get 12 hours at least straight.
Mm,
And very honestly, if you have work experience, there are colleges who generally look up to getting admissions from freshers. If you apply to those colleges, you might get a fair shot because you are an experienced person, and
mm.
those people always get an upper hand.
Correct. Correct.
However, once you've completed with your you started working on your weekends and you have a good grasp of basic things, then after some time, maybe you have a holiday in between, maybe you come back, you take some sick leaves from work, you come back, So start taking mocks in between the weeks as well, so that this balance your studying during the weekend and taking mocks on the weekdays. Also, if you feel like if your organization is an organization that also offers you a work from home option, you can take sometimes work from home option on days you want to do your mocks and then go back to work the next day. So this is how you might want to manage that.
Okay. Okay, Tanmay, can you answer this? When is the right time to start CAT preparation? And if somebody is starting from August, do they have any chance in CAT 23? If they are, like, how would you tell them to schedule their preparation? Yeah.
Uh, so honestly, guys, the answer for this question is there is no right time for CAT preparation. To start the CAT preparation, because I did my CAT preparation for 10 months approximately, but there are few of my friends who cleared the CAT and even got more percentile than me in 2 months and 3 months, etc. So
Okay.
it completely depend upon how much effort that you want to put. If you are a work-ex person, then obviously you need some more time. If you are a fresher guy and engineering in the engineering background or some BCom background last year, you have some ample amount of time for studying, then you can clear CAT in shorter amount of time as well. What takes time is this for me, the verbal took time to get grasp and it takes time. But obviously you can focus on maximizing your efforts. If you are preparing from August, you don't need to study thoroughly the every part of, let's say, a quant. You need to focus on what are the topics that you are most comfortable with, and out of the 22 questions, you need to clear 10 questions from the 10-15 topics. That way you can maximize your scores. If you start doing everything, then you will not get a time to solve mocks. So even if you are starting from now, then prepare for 1 month and start giving mocks. Then you will get to know that what are your strengths which you need to focus upon more. So you can clear CAT of course if you start right now as well. It will take more effort from your end, but obviously yes, because there are people who clear CAT in 1 month as well in our batch.
Okay. Oh, okay. Prasanna, can you answer this? Like, what if somebody, okay, you are sitting for your on the day of CAT, and the first section itself, you are stuck with a few questions. How do you remain focused, motivated to go through the entire process and, yeah, I mean, and don't waste your time thinking or solving or trying to solve the difficult ones. Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, so the first thing to understand here is that every section, every slot is independent of each other, and every section in a slot is also independent of each other. So if first VRC you find difficult, this doesn't mean that DRR will also be difficult, and then quant will also be difficult, and then you won't be able to solve anything. That's not the right way to think about it. So in VRC, if you're stuck at something and you find you're wasting a lot of time on a particular passage or RC, check the other questions in the same RC, whether you are able to solve it in, say, the next couple of minutes or not.
Okay.
If you feel you again need to skim through the entire RC to find that one question's answer, then it's not worthwhile to spend that much time. Either you can try to go for the non-RC questions, which you initially may have skipped or which are still remaining, or you can check the remaining RCs which you haven't yet attempted, and see which RC is closest to your comfort zone, so that you at least get the confidence that whatever you're reading, you are understanding it, and then go for the questions following them.
Okay. Okay. Tell me. Okay. Let's talk about also a little bit about the kind of profile, because almost everybody, all of you are freshers. Most. So, yeah. So, is it like IIM Indore prefers that kind of a profile, or like, for example, there are some B schools like SPJN, for example. They do give a lot of weightage to work experience that you have and all that, and a lot of questions actually come from that. So is there any criteria, selection criteria at IIM Indore? Also, what are the kind of profiles that can make you stand apart from the rest for IIM Indore? and what are the tips for profile? So Palak, you can start, and then Piyush, and you guys can all pitch in. Yeah. Okay. Palak.
So it's not like that IIM Indore doesn't have any experienced students.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my batch, there were students with 3-4 years of work ex as well.
Okay.
But so it all depends upon the kind of criteria that a particular college has. So IIM Indore gives a lot of wages to your 10th and 12th scores.
Okay.
Okay, so it does also have a weightage for work ex, but that weightage is outnumbered by your 10th and 12th marks.
Hmm.
So that is why you might see a lot of freshers in the mix because we don't get a chance in other colleges that much because the work ex takes the cake there. But so yeah, you find you'll at IIM Indore, for me personally, in my 2 years there, we had each and every person possible from each and every field possible. And we had gap year people, we had 1 year experience,
Hmm.
0, 2, 3, and during our placement season, everybody got the company that they wanted. Everybody got placed in like within 2 days of the placement season we started. So I think it doesn't matter what kind of profile you come it from until and unless you can justify them in the interview what you were doing for the past 25, 23, 2 years of your
Hmm.
life,
Hmm.
you'll get in very well.
Okay. Yeah. Piyush.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there is a thumb rule for all the 21 IIMs that they have their specific criteria of selecting of what sort of students they want, what sort of students they don't want. So in our batch, there's right. Palak said that there's a slightly greater weightage to 10th and 12th. Uh, WorkX, it's not that much, but still I have seen people from various backgrounds. So if you talk about the various backgrounds people come from, so we have people from food technology, from paint technology. I have friends. So I don't think the background is the matter from where you come or the WorkX. There are some various types of people, and there are some of my friends who did UPSC preparation for 3-4 years, and then they joined IIM Indore. So yeah, there are a diverse set of people you can meet.
Okay. Anybody? Any one of you have any gap years? Okay. Yeah, Palak. How do you answer that when during the interview?
What I did was while studying for my CAT prep, 6 months I did nothing till November. I had nothing on my resume from April to November. I didn't have anything. But
Okay.
when I was done with my CAT, I started picking up internships. So from November till the point I actually joined, 1 year, 1 month into my MBA till August, 8, 9 months, I was doing various internships. So that was there on my resume. So when they asked what you were doing in your gap year, I upfront said 6 months I was preparing for CAT. After that, I picked up various internships to make sure that I have the corporate experience needed to do my MBA. So that was my answer.
Okay. Yeah, Prasanna, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I mean, similar to what Palak said,
Okay.
you have to
Yep.
justify yourself. That's it.
But so how did you justify it? You took a break because of to study, to focus on your
Yeah,
or to work?
to study, I had taken a break. Yeah.
Okay, okay. But tell me, there's a question also about it. I'm having a gap year. What should be better, joining a NGO or getting into an internship? Palak, you would like to answer?
So I would suggest that if you don't have some social service on your resume, you might want to go for an NGO one for maybe a month. But later, an internship is important because see, freshers, it's very difficult to freshers for to answer this question in your interview when they ask what is the specialization you want to go for.
Okay.
And if you go for a specialization without having a backing corporate exposure or anything, they
Correct.
might cross question you. So if you have some internship experience, so I had internship experience in 5 fields. So before telling them that this is the field, they asked me why. Then I said I experienced other fields. I didn't like it. This is the field that I want to go in.
Okay. Yeah.
So that backed up my answer. And so for me, if you all know, my score wasn't that good, my CAT score, but my interview score got me to a place where I was selected for both PGP and PGP-HRM.
Okay.
So an interview also plays a very big role in how you answer.
Okay. Yeah. Udit, what were the questions you were asked? And then Tanmay, yeah, about your personal interview at IIM Indore. Yeah. And also tips. Maybe one tip each. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Udit.
there would be mostly two panelists, or maybe you get three. So in my
Mm,
case, there were two, and one prof was very keen on asking the basic mechanical concept, because as I am a fresher, they would
mm,
mostly rely on the undergrad subjects, and they
mm,
were highly taking me on the concepts and the basic frameworks of many subjects which I have studied. So
mm,
it was around, the duration was around 30 minutes. So almost to the 15 to 20 minutes, I would say. They have focused on the basic concepts and how you would solve this question, how this concept works, what is the real application. Because on in general, if some people ask you, they would ask from the very basic things. Like in mechanical, you would mostly rely on thermodynamics, maybe IC engine. So these are the very go-to kind of words which they would ask. They won't go much deeper, but
mm,
they want you to know about the basic things and how they can be applied in the real life. And
mm,
on the latter half, they started asking me about the current affairs, like Russia-Ukraine war was
mm.
a very
Yeah.
recent incident that took place. So they asked about me, what is my take on it, how should
Mm,
India stand on it,
mm,
and what are the other things that they can
mm.
play. Also in our times there was no wet type of thing, so they
Okay.
mostly ask some guesstimate, or maybe go for any topics which they can. So
Mm,
they ask me about the stock market, what's my point of view of them, and if the people are making loss and they are doing suicide, so what's my take on it, should we ban it or not. So
okay.
they would mostly ask your views on the something happening recently, or maybe
Okay.
some abstract topic also. So
Mm,
that was kind of how this interview fared. I would say current affairs are the very much important things for your interview. Also, if you have a work ex, they would mostly rely on the work experience part, but also they can go to the UG concepts also. So even if you have work ex of 2 to 3 years, I have seen many people who were dig down into the UG parts also. And as a
okay.
fresher, the UG part is very important,
Mm,
and current affairs and all the basic questions like why MBA and why you want to do this, why you have done
mm.
this,
So
all the things which
how long was your interview?
almost 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Tanmay.
So the guys, average interview duration for IIM Indore is, let's say, is 15 minutes, but sometimes it
Okay.
gets stretched depending upon whether they are making a decision on
Mm,
you based on your questions. So
mm,
for me, the interview experience was pretty good and it was pretty chill. There were two interview panelists.
mm,
The one interview panelist generally comes from industry and one is the academic person.
mm,
So as it depends, guys, from where you come. If you are an engineer and generally based in, let's say, Mumbai or around regions, so they had that panel which generally asks questions based on quants and your engineering background, as Udit
mm,
said.
mm.
Let's say if you are from a DU graduate, I heard that they generally don't ask quant-based questions. They ask something that they can relate, something related to
Mm,
their past acads. So it depends upon what type of academic experience that you bring. For me, they ask some basic quant questions, and I am like mod of x minus one, where it will be differentiable,
oh,
and
okay.
how many points, what the graph will look like.
Mm,
Solve these quadratic equations. The
mm,
parabola will be upward sloping. Upward or downward, like that. So basic quant
okay.
questions they asked me. Some people also got very tough quant questions, like they had some trick in that, not a very tough but a smart. You need to be smart while solving that quant questions. Then
Okay.
the flow went for the extempore. So IIM Indore has very specific type of interview. They conduct extempore during their interviews only. So they gave 1 minute for preparation and 2 minutes for extempore to speak. My extempore topic luckily was very easy. It
Mm,
was like boon and bane of the online education system. Tell us six
okay.
point or five points
Mm,
each. It was very easy for me, but some people I heard that some people were given topics regarding Russia Ukraine war, as Udit said. So the recent happenings during the CAT preparation, CAT time, or that during that duration will be asked for your extempore topics, and you need to give your views.
mm,
So guys, I am Indore. Another point, important point is I am Indore give weightage for their ethical considerations and the social responsibility. So try to bring that aspect in the interview, that how in past you help the society in various aspects of your work during volunteering or working with NGOs, etc. So give that part, take that part in mind, and during your interview, uh, just be confident. The confidence is the key for the interview. If you lose your confidence, then there is no chance. So stay confident. That is one suggestion that I have. Focus on the social and environmental aspects for specifically to I am in those interviews. And if you are an engineer, then focus on some quant based questions they will ask and some GK related questions. And my interview went for around 15 minutes only, and it was pretty smooth.
Okay. Yeah, Prasanna and Piyush, you guys have Prasanna. What were your questions like? It's basically there is no standard way to prepare for personal interview, right? So how do is there anything standard like a tip that you can give also, Prasanna, for personal interview, for preparation of personal interview?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
IIM interviews can get very random at times.
Mm.
So you have no idea what the panelists can throw at you. But basic preparation you can do across all fields. So you have to be thorough of some important subjects in your academics. You need to know some general knowledge, current affairs, the HR type interview questions such as why MBA, your strengths and weaknesses, etc. If you have work ex, then you will surely be asked some questions around it. And if you have work ex, then why are you doing MBA after your job? Why not continue with your job? So such basic questions you need to prepare across all your dimensions.
Yeah, I would like to add just one thing. All of you covered very well, but I would like to I would like to tell that Tanmay said that confidence, you don't have to lose confidence, right? But I think confidence comes from your answers when you don't bluff. Okay, so my suggestion would be you should never bluff in an interview. So you straight away tell ki no, I don't know this answer. You don't try to bluff them. If you bluff them and they caught you, then
You're gone.
it's not good for you. Yeah, so that would be the only point. Otherwise, it's a mix of HR questions, your background, your work case questions, the general awareness questions. So pretty much of that.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about academics now. So, okay. In how do you select the electives? Also, Palak, you selected, so you got selected for PGP as well as PGP HRM. So why did you select HRM, and also how did you reach that decision that okay, HRM is your thing? And also, if you can talk, like Prasanna, maybe you can talk about your PGP, the subjects and the electives, and how do you select those? And Palak, you can talk about like the bit that is different for HRM, the electives, the subjects, and all that, and how much of it is similar. Yeah, Palak. First Palak, then Prasanna. Yeah.
Okay, so before doing my MBA, I'd done internships starting from finance. I had my own website where all the social media marketing and everything, marketing related. Then I started doing a few internships in HR as well. So the HR internship is the one I did a few HR internships, and all the various fields I discovered there are the ones that stuck with me. Okay, so that I discovered that is the field that I would want to major in. That is the field I would want to go on top of. That is why I said that exploring a little bit of different field might help a fresher decode what they want to do right now. And right now, I'm a change management consultant in Accenture Strategy, and I think it was one of the best decisions I made. So that is the divide I chose between that, and I was also the first gold medalist for PGP-HRM. So balancing my academics was one of the aims that I had right from the beginning. This was something that I had set my mind on. So the academics for PGP, HRM, and PGP is almost similar for the first year. However, there are some subjects that are interchangeable. So for first and second term, almost all the subjects are same. However, one or two subjects there would be for PGP and that they won't be for PGP HRM, and there will be subjects for PGP HRM that won't be for PGP. So, however, for the first year, you will be in the same section with the PGP people, and after second year, people for different subjects and electives, you'll have different people you are studying with.
Hmm.
So that's the way
Oh.
it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Prasanna, PGP and the electives and the yeah. And how do you are there biddings for the electives? How do you select what is it for the academic bid? Yeah.
Yeah, so the first two terms, all subjects are compulsory for everyone, for the PGP students.
Hmm.
The third term is the first instance where you get a chance to choose some of your subjects. Again, most subjects are compulsory, but
Okay.
you get a chance to select two electives out of four.
Okay.
So that again depends on the competition that there is for that subject. So if a subject is highly sought after, then there is a bidding process where, so I think in third semester it was on first come first served basis. So
Okay.
we just have to fill up a Google form, and the one who fills it up the first will get a seat.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so it depends a lot on whether the subject is sought after or not, subject as well
Okay.
as the professor who is taking that
Okay.
subject.
Okay.
And it depends on your interest and
Hmm.
what kind of field do you want and your interest. But for second year, the bidding is very much standardized. So there is a
Okay.
proper bidding process on a given portal,
Hmm.
and you have a set number of bidding points. Everyone has the same number of bidding points,
Hmm.
and all subjects are electives. There are no compulsory subjects as such
Okay.
for the last three terms.
Hmm.
And again, you have to decide basis your interest as well as the level of competition that would exist for that particular subject.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
you can choose subjects. So if I wanted majorly from finance and strategy,
Hmm.
so in it
Okay.
I chose the ones where there is a possibility of high bidding where I can go all in for my bidding points, and
Okay.
some subjects where there won't be too much of competition, which I would get it easily.
Okay. Okay.
So that
Okay.
was my planning.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me, what about the student exchange program? Who can talk about the student exchange program? Piyush, you would like to answer the student exchange program, and is it
Uh,
compulsory or what is it?
no, it's not at all compulsory.
Hmm.
It's decided on the CGPA of
Okay.
first year for the basically there will be two kinds of steps.
Okay.
Student exchange program, first in fifth term and second time in sixth term. So for
Okay.
fifth term, your first trimester, sorry,
Hmm.
CGPA is considered,
Hmm.
uh, and the people who are going in sixth term,
Hmm.
the cumulative CGPA is calculated, and around 80-90 seats are there for the fifth term.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, that's
Hmm.
all. That's the only criterion. It's not at all compulsory to go apply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the kind of clubs and committees which are there? Okay, you all can tell me which all clubs and committees you all were part of. Palak, of course, you were in PlaceCom. Yeah. So Prasanna, then Piyush, then Udit, then Tanmay. Yeah. Which club committee you were part of?
No, I am not a part of any club.
No? Okay, so
No,
you don't have to be, it's not compulsory and it
no.
doesn't affect your your profile in the sense like, because
It depends on whether you have POR from your undergrad or not. So
okay.
if you feel you have good POR from your undergrad,
Huh,
uh, so PORs over here would obviously help your profile.
okay.
But of course, it's not compulsory and it's not that big a factor unless you are in a very good club or committee.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Piyush, you
Yeah, these are some ways to get PORs if you
hmm,
don't have any PORs. Like
hmm,
there will be a selection process for the committees also, for the clubs also.
hmm,
Okay, so for the
hmm,
committees, there are placecom committee, placement, basically preparation committee, stepcom I talked about. So there
hmm,
are various committees in which you can apply to, and there are various clubs also. Like there are clubs based on the domains of
okay.
the specialization. Like for operations, there is Club Kaizen. For consulting, there is consulting.
Hmm,
For marketing, there is Mercury. So
hmm,
there are many such clubs, committees. After that, there are events like Utsaha, marketing event, Iris, and Atharva for IPM participants.
hmm,
So I think for getting that PORs, you can apply. It's not compulsory that you have to apply.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Udit, you were part of any clubs or committees?
Not a part of any club or committee, but yeah, a part of the Utsaha, and I am also the vertical coordinate of one of the vertical. So it's as the panelist said, it's not compulsory to apply for them, but it's good if you apply in them and get selected. That would show that you have done some activities apart from your curricular. You have done some extra activities in the campus itself. So as many of the people would be knowing that in the clubs, in the committees, you would be having only true preference for filling any club or committee, and in the
Okay.
selection process, if you get selected, you would be able to get in into one. So you have to specifically very interested in those committees to get into it, because you can't apply to all of them. You have just two preferences, out of which you will go into one of them.
Thelma, you were part of any club or committee? No? Yeah?
Yes, yes. So I'm a part of entrepreneurship cell,
Oh,
which is a
okay.
club at IIM Indore.
So you guys
So
also have an incubation center, right?
right now the incubation center don't come under entrepreneurship cell. It comes directly under the college.
Okay.
So we work around the entrepreneurship activities that happens in the campus. Uh, and as I said, as all panelists said, it depends that what type of
But
position
I
of
think
responsibility that we want.
IIM Indore is known for entrepreneurship and supporting entrepreneurship. Is it true? Yeah, Tanmay?
Yes, yes. There are many entrepreneurs that are from
Okay.
IIM Indore,
Mm.
and the main major work of IIM Indore's entrepreneurship cell is that only, that to support
Okay.
the upcoming startups and connect to the various venture capitalists
Okay.
and get the funding for them. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Palak, as a PlaceCom person, can you be member of anything else, or you don't have time, or you cannot basically, right? You can only be.
So PGP does lay this restriction that you cannot be part of it,
Uh-huh.
but PGP-HRM, we are our own masters. We can do
Uh,
whatever we want, but
okay. Okay. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but it's not advisable to join any other thing, because then your academics suffer a lot.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Tell me now. Let's talk about the internship and and a little bit about the placements as well. So internship process. Yeah, Prasanna and Piyush, if you guys can quickly talk about the. So maybe Piyush, you can talk about the internship process, and Prasanna, Tanmay, and Udit, you guys can just pitch in if Piyush has missed out something. And Palak, you have to talk about the placement and your placement experience, and also if you can tell us a little bit about the PGP HRM, how different, or how is it together, the placements, all that. Okay.
Okay.
First
So
Piyush.
yeah. So my internship was in Kotak Mahindra Bank in analytics, and the companies that visit campuses have their own set of criterias that they might like, group discussions or interviews in their process, or
Okay.
there are companies who takes only interviews, not any GDs. Okay, so there depends upon company to company. The important suggestion I would like to give you guys is, uh, you start preparing. If you get into an IIM, start preparing from the early days, because afterwards it will all come together and you won't have time. So process, generally companies depend on the companies. It will take GDs or PIs. So yeah, that's.
Okay. Okay. Prasanna, Udit, anything specific from your internship, your learning or
Also,
something? Yeah.
Also, some company prefers to have a test before the GDs or interview, so that test can be aptitude test, which is almost similar to the CAT types, and some can be of the behavioral type, which you would mostly study in your first trimester. So that test is basically to filter out and shortlist apart from the resume, and that would definitely help you if you able to crack it up, and you would get good shortlist also. So that's
Okay.
again a very important thing. About my internship, I had done internship at ICICI Bank and in the finance domain side.
So I'll tell you. So this happened in our batch, because since the market was getting better till my batch was getting placed, so um everybody got placed in 2 days. Okay, 2 days. It's a record time that IIM Indore has ever placed a batch. But because of this, because companies were hiring left and right, people saw their friends applying to everywhere. So people started applying left and right. So they ended up getting in the wrong organizations, and a lot of companies they wish to get into didn't get a chance later to get on the campus itself. So
Okay.
the main first suggestion would be to apply in companies very mindfully. Okay, if you are sure that this is the domain you want to go in, please then apply.
Correct.
However, people might not sure be later on sure also that okay, if you do an internship there, you realize okay, this is not the field that I want. But you can always apply in the placement later on that okay, this is not the domain I want to explore in. Also, this is a personal advice that I give to the people I mentor also that if you feel like you don't want to continue with an internship, okay, and you feel that you might get a PPO also, this is something your placement committee won't advise you to do, but this is something that you might want to do on a personal level, and if it doesn't come up in front of your placecom also, this is a disclaimer.
Yeah.
So you might want to connect with somebody you know on a personal level with that company, the person you have worked with, and you would let them know indirectly or directly that this is not a domain I am very comfortable with. So
Okay.
if they know, they won't extend the PPO itself because they also don't want somebody who might be leaving the organization very soon.
Correct.
But it's
Yeah.
your responsibility to make it clear to them. Also regarding the PPO, it's once you get a PPO, you can't sit in the final placement. So
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
that's about
Correct.
it.
Correct. Yeah. Can
So
you
there
talk
is
about your placement experience? Your placement experience, Palak.
so okay.
And also
Being
tell
the
us
part,
if PGP and PGP-HRM are these placements separate? You can just tell us a little bit about that also. How different? How? Yeah. Hmm.
so the committees are different. PGP has a separate placecom. PGP
Okay.
HRM has a separate placecom.
Okay.
However, there are certain companies that come for both the students as such. So we
Okay.
have an internal agreement between the two placecoms that if a company, that depends, okay, it's an internal working mechanism that if a company comes and they want to hire from both the programs, they're open to do so. And we
Okay.
both take into consideration each of our batches as well because at the end of the day, there is one institution in general.
Correct.
And talking about the placement experience for our batch, the summer placements for both PGP and PGP-HRM placements summer placement was a little tough because it was going through recession, COVID. We were in middle of the COVID situation. However, as I talked about, our final placements were fantastic. We just got placed. Everybody just got placed in just a heartbeat. It went that well. And you have good opportunities when it comes to IIM Indore. You can just check their placement reports. The company that comes on campus is amazing. Almost so there is always a variation between what you get with different level of colleges. Person from IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta might have something different. People from IIM KL and IIM Indore might have something different. But the company usually visit almost all the campuses because they need that amount of people that are there. However, the placement process is a little rigid. For summers at least, you won't require that much knowledge because they don't expect you to learn anything in 1 month of your MBA.
Correct.
However, you need to be very upfront about the academic test that they might want to give in, the GD that they might want to give in, the interviews that you have to give because it gets very competitive because you are on a playing level field with everybody there. And since it's just 1 month in your MBA, in summers you might get overwhelmed also. And this is the reason why some of the people, even I talk to on a regular basis, don't get the internship that they want because they are not able to manage their time very well. So the advice there would be to prioritize things very well and don't get disheartened if you do not get a good internship on campus. There are always final placements to look forward to. And even if you don't get a good final placement, the world isn't ending. You'll get a good job
Yeah.
1 year down the line. I changed mine in 6 months.
Mm.
It's not a problem at all, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Palak, for the answer. Yeah, okay. Let's look at some photos from the campus.
So this is a photo I took just a few days ago. So this is just outside the ACAD block.
Okay.
So here we get some of the most beautiful sunsets we can see. In my first year, my room was exactly facing the western direction. So I used to
Okay.
get a sunset every day, one of the most beautiful views. So this is one of the photos I had clicked.
Okay.
And this is also a photo I clicked a few days ago. So this is people who know, this is a slope that we take from the SR15 to the arcade block every day. We used to take. Now, thankfully, we are closer to arcade block in the second year.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So,
So this is from
Oh, nice.
Ganesh Chaturthi when we had Ganeshji on our campus for the second year. First year we weren't allowed to do anything. COVID.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So second year became that much important to us. So this is everybody had a good time. Then just a second. This is my convocation that we had in 2022. Then this is the desk that I used to sit on in campus. It
And
has
it is
your
with
name and
plastics and
everything.
all because of COVID, is it? Or
They had the new chairs got in
oh
this
yeah,
year.
okay.
This is specifically for us, so it's was fine.
Yeah, you wrote that back to the grind.
Yeah, because we were back from second year. This is second year starting, if I'm not
Okay.
wrong. And this is the Holi that we had on campus. We weren't allowed to play Holi, okay? So this is something that people got fined for. So that's just that. Okay, so one of the problems with campus is you enjoy that much in campus that you forget to click a lot of pictures. So that was happened with me. So this is what I have.
Okay. Yeah, can you explain a little bit about the schedule of the day, how the day starts and progresses further? Maybe Piyush, you can answer this.
Yeah, I'll take that one. In the first year, you will have classes in right throughout the day from 9 to between lunch. There will be a lunch break at 2 to 2:30, I guess. No, 1:15 to 2:30. You will have classes right throughout the day. But as you progress and as you enter the second year, you have to select electives and professors offer those courses. So we have lectures at random time, like in the night also we have lectures from 10 to 11:30 or all sort of, there is a mix of lectures in the second year. 9 a.m. classes also and the night classes also. So there's a pretty good mix. But first year all subjects are common and it's compulsory for everyone. So there's a specific timetable for the first year students.
Okay.
Also for the PGP one, we would be having the surprise quizzes, which would surprise you very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But tell me, are there any case championships and things like that in the campus for PGP? Prasanna, Tanmay, Tanmay, can you answer this?
Yeah, I would like to pitch in. So the case competition is very important part, will be very important part of your MBA life if you were part of any B school. If you'll be the part of any B school, the case competition generally happen in this time only between the June to September period, and this is very packed period for mostly PGP ones as well as PGP twos, because those who are interested in case comps, many companies launch their case competitions in this period. And many of the IIM Indore has a tradition of uh, it's a very good thing about IIM Indore that many people actually participate in the case competition and they win as well. So that's it. Yes.
Okay. 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 Before we wrap up, tips from all of you. So, Prasanna, Udit, and Tanmay, can you guys give cat tips, cat prep tips? And Piyush and Palak, can you guys give personal interview tips? Yeah, Prasanna, you go, then Udit, then Tanmay. Yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, you need to stay calm throughout this journey because this is going to be a lot of ups and downs. So every time you give a mock, you have to analyze it and see to it where you are making any mistakes. See if there is a consistent pattern in the mistakes that you are making. Try to identify it and work on those zones specifically. Again, so some mock scores will be random. So it's like you are studying very hard, but you feel you're still not getting the scores that you think you should get. So that is a part of the process. But it is important that you keep your effort consistent.
Okay. Yeah, Udit.
Yeah, consistency and self-confidence. I think these are the two things you would need to imbibe in yourself in the CAT journey, and
Mm,
also focus on the weak part, but also you should have that idea that the maximum of your marks, maybe 60 to 40% would come from the other two sections, which is not
mm,
as weak as the weakest
correct.
one.
Mm,
So also focus on scoring better and better
right.
marks in those where your strong areas, and keep on insisting properly on the CAT journey. You would be able to get there.
Okay. Yeah, Tanmay.
So guys, three suggestions from my end.
Hmm.
Just stay consistent.
Hmm.
Your CAT journey is going to be lots of
Hmm.
ups and down. It going to be it is there in the CAT preparation that someday you will get good marks, someday you will not. But it's all about reducing those ups and downs. You will not get a smooth CAT journey. No one gets that. So
Hmm.
it will be ups, it will be down. Someday you will get 99 percentile, someday you will get 70 percentile in the same subject, same difficulty, same type of questions. It completely depends on what type of mindset you are in. So stay
Okay.
consistent and you will definitely get good marks. If you are getting IMS, many professors told us this, that if you get 90 percentile in the SIMCATs, then you can easily get 95 percentile with that score, and you can target 98, 99. You can definitely achieve 3/4 of the gap.
Okay.
Second is, do not neglect any subject, even if you are not comfortable with any of the section. I
Hmm.
I will tell you that that is the section that will help you in the CAT day, because you will put a lot of efforts in that. And the subject that you are most comfortable in, there is a chance that it will not be very good during that day. And the CAT day is very important. Go with your family for the test. Go with your friends if you want, or you go alone. But that those two hours is going to be very important. Just stay. You have nothing to lose. You did everything before that day. Just go with the flow and enjoy that. There is no difference. You will get same questions as your SIMCATs are different, same concepts, different numbers, of course. So treat it as a IMS, another SIMCAT, SIMCAT 16 as they call, and go, and you will definitely excel. So that's it.
Okay, thanks, Tanmay. Yeah, Piyush and
Yeah,
Palak interview, personal interview tips.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have one thing just I want to add, like Tanmay was talking about the tough section.
Mm,
So if your section is not going well, so just don't panic. If it's hard for you, it's hard for everyone else.
mm,
So go on to next section. Don't
mm,
pass this negativity into the next sections. Okay.
mm,
So as far as interviews are concerned, as I told you, it will be a pretty good mix of HR questions, general awareness, what you think about the topics which are currently talked about in the country. Okay,
mm,
and I just told before, don't bluff.
mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that will be
Mm,
all for the interview, and just stay calm. And
mm,
yeah, I want remember one instance. If your interview is not going well, like pre-interview tip, learn the most about college, which interview you are giving. I
correct.
remember one
Yeah.
instance, one guy gave an example of the dog inside that campus to the professor who was taking that interview. So
Mm,
he told the name of the dog inside, the
mm,
famous dog inside the campus, but the prof was
mm,
not knowing. So that shows
mm,
how much you are aligned, how much you
correct.
are research, how much you have researched the college. So
Mm,
yeah, that efforts वो दिखता है कहीं ना कहीं. So
right.
it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so be calm, be prepared. That's
Yeah.
all.
Palak.
Uh, so the first advice I would like to give is that do your research well, as Piyush rightly mentioned, but the research also goes into what kind of interview that you're going to give. So every
Mm,
institute has a pattern of taking an interview. So
correct.
IIM
Mm,
Indore focuses on your academics, even if you are a work person. IIM Shillong has a lot of weightage to political affairs, current affairs, and everything. So it's
mm,
very important to brush up on your research skills and do that.
mm,
Secondly, you need to prepare, you need to know your resume in and out. Whatever it's there, you need to justify each and every line, and you need to know what's there.
mm,
Thirdly, brush up your HR questions. If you know the answer of the basic HR questions and you are confident enough to answer them, you fare really well, and you'll fare this well that the interviewer might change some questions for you. They did for me because I didn't know the answers.
mm,
They changed my extempore topic only. They're like,
Okay.
you're not comfortable, you speak on whatever topic you want to speak on.
Okay.
So it's just about building a connection with the interviewer.
Okay, so that's all we have time for in this session. I would like to thank all the attendees and I would like to thank all the panelists. Thank you, Prasanna. Thank you, Piyush. Thank you, Udit. Thank you, Tanmay. Thank you, Palak. Thank you so much for being here and giving us insight. Thanks.
Yeah, it was
Thank
very
Thank
good.
you.
It was very good experience mentoring these guys because we were on the same side
Yeah.
1.5 years back. And thank you,
Yeah.
Kalyani, for this opportunity, and thank you, Palak, as well, for taking time from your busy schedule as you're working. We are
Yeah.
doing second year, so we are very relaxed.
Don't say that you guys don't have anything. Probably I'm in
She's
your
she's
the
already
management will give you.
Palak is already missing the campus, so we should not
Yeah.
I
talk
Yes.
came
about the
last year.
campus.
I came last year in the alumni meet. I'm planning to come this year also. I'm a really
Yes,
big fan
yes.
of
We
National
can
Yeah,
catch up.
Alumni.
yeah, definitely happy
Yeah,
to meet
sure.
you. Yes,
All right. Okay. All right.
yes,
Thanks, Tan. Yeah.
yes.